I'm going to show you exactly how much I make from this YouTube channel. But first you need to know that starting and growing a YouTube channel is like planting a vegetable patch in your backyard. So at first, not much happens, right? You water it, you check it, you keep an eye on it, you wonder if it's even worth it, but give it time and suddenly you're picking tomatoes and feeding your family. That wasn't a tomato. So at the time of recording, I've got just under 5,000 subscribers, but even at this stage, it's allowed me to drop down to 4 days a week and my day job to spend more time on my family responsibilities. So you might be thinking, all right, Andy, but how much is that in cold hard cash? Before I show you my AdSense dashboard and how much cash this channel makes from ads and a couple of other income streams, there's something I need to share with you that I haven't heard any other creators talking about. Basically, there are two completely different types of YouTube channels, and picking the right one can be a great little earner, and picking the wrong one for you and your circumstances can mean you end up wasting months and end up with no income at all. So the first type, and the one that this channel fits into, is evergreen content. So these are videos that hold up over time. So think tutorials, reviews, small business advice. My videos often start slow, but they keep chugging away thanks to views from search results. In fact, have a look at this video. I published it 18 months ago and it's still making about $40 a month. And you know, that's not huge amounts, but you can imagine what happens when you start stacking up more videos like this. They basically become passive income assets. That's the power of evergreen content. And the single biggest advantage of this, in my opinion, is if you're like me and you've got limited time, maybe you're juggling work, kids, life in general, this kind of channel is perfect because it doesn't punish you for missing a week here or there. In fact, I went a whole month earlier this year without posting anything and my YouTube income didn't drop. In fact, it actually grew slightly because some of the old videos started gaining some traction. I'll show you what I mean when we get into the numbers in just a second. The one downside of this type of content is it can be tricky to keep coming up with fresh and engaging topics, which brings us on to the other type of channel, the trending machine. So think news, commentary, reactions, finance updates, sports. These videos pop off fast and you'll always have something to talk about because there's always news and things happening in the world, but they usually have a short shelf life. So if you're consistent and have time to post regularly, this style can grow your channel super fast and bring in that ad revenue really early on. So you might not have to wait 18 months to get monetized like I did. But it's also a treadmill, right? Because if you stop posting, your views will just dry up completely. So think about it. If you're making like a football channel, no one's going to want to watch a preview for a football game that you recorded after the game has already been played. So most sports videos or news videos, they're out of date within a few days, and then you're not making a single cent off of them after that. Again, you'll understand why I'm talking about this when we get to the numbers. Obviously, you can categorize channels in other ways, like, you know, by niche, talking head, vlog style, faceless, AI, etc. But in my experience, they all fall into one of these two buckets. And it's vital that you pick the one best suited for you and your lifestyle if you want YouTube to be a successful business for you. All right, now let's talk money. So this is my YouTube AdSense dashboard. I do actually make more income from a couple of other streams, which I'm going to talk about in a minute. That's sponsored videos and affiliate links. But this is just to show you the ad revenue. I think that's probably the first thing most people think about when they think about making money from YouTube. As you can see, in the last 28 days, $454. Drop a comment below because I'm genuinely interested to know whether you expected it to be lower than that or higher than that. I think when I first got monetized, it was making like it was making like $3 a day, which I was very underwhelmed with, but it has picked up a bit. Let's have a look at the last, so 2025, it's been fairly steady. So just over 3 grand for 2025. We're currently just at the start of August. Slowly growing. Around this time, I did get rid of some old videos. They weren't making much, but I guess that did make a little bit of a difference. I wonder if we can go back to the very start to show you what it looked like when I first was monetized. Yeah, okay, so here you go. This is just about a year and a half ago. In the early days of just being monetized, I was making like $3-4 a day. So yeah, just be aware if you're hanging out for getting monetized, or you're nearly at 1,000 subs and you're thinking, as soon as I get to that number, I'm going to start making some decent money. You're probably not. So it's probably worth thinking about other income streams as well, which I'm going to go over in a minute. But yeah, that just gives you an idea of what you can expect. The channel currently has 5,000 subs, but that doesn't really mean a lot. Views are more important, because obviously you make money every time an ad is played on a view. So it's more important to look at your views. Let's have a look. How many views are we currently getting? So we're currently getting 15.6K views per month. You can use that to figure out what you can expect, but it's not going to be exactly the same, because we need to talk about RPM and CPM. So let's use the video we looked at earlier as an example. This was the one, it's over 18 months old, and you can see it's made $644. This video was one of my lowest efforts ones. It was basically just me freestyling off the top of my dome. And it's done well for me. You know, it would have taken all up about 3 or 4 hours to do, and it's made $644. It's not always like that. Sometimes I've spent 20 hours plus on a video and it's absolutely flopped. So again, just setting your expectations on that. This is one of my better videos, especially considering like I didn't put much time into it. But let's talk about RPM and CPM. Okay, so RPM is the amount of money that you get paid per 1,000 views on your ad. Okay, so an advertiser will pay in CPM. That's how much an advertiser pays to basically get shown 1,000 times, right? So after YouTube takes its 45%, this is what you end up with. RPM, $35.86. This is probably higher than average because I'm making sort of business slash, not finance, but yeah, let's say business type videos. This RPM is higher than average, I would imagine, because you got to think about it like this. The higher value your audience is, the higher value you will get paid per view. So there could be a channel that's getting 4 times the amount of views, but because they're making like video game content, the RPM would be very low, and then therefore they wouldn't be making as much income. So just think about that. I'm not saying you should only make a channel about something that's going to have a high RPM. I think first and foremost, you should make it around your passion or your area of expertise. But do bear in mind that the RPM is going to vary massively between what it is. Some high ticket ones, I would imagine, like if you had a channel all about mortgages, I imagine you'd have a very high RPM, because all the ads being shown to people would be from banks for mortgages, where they're literally going to make thousands of dollars off of each sale. Hope that makes sense. As a comparison, I used to make more videos about gig economy, and as part of that, I would make e-bike videos. So I'm going to show you an e-bike video now, and it will have a much lower RPM. Okay, this is the perfect example, right? So this is a video called E-Bike Laws in Australia. I imagine the audience for this is people sort of researching whether to get an e-bike or not. It might be a lot of kids, obviously with lower disposable income, things like that. So the RPM on that last video we looked at about importing goods into Australia was $35. And you can see this RPM on this e-bike video, $4.68. So that previous video, for every 1,000 views it gets, it makes 7 times the amount that this video gets. So to be honest, I need to get rid of this video. I've got rid of most e-bike videos because I think they were wrecking my algorithm. I need to get rid of this, but it's a popular video. Like, look how many views it's got. So in total, it's made $231 since being published. And that's for 49,000 views. So that's really bad RPM. But in saying that, if you're in Australia and you're into e-bikes, here's a little freebie for you. I recommend starting a channel. There's a huge gap in the market there for Australian e-bike channels. I still get offered opportunities from e-bike manufacturers and retailers in Australia because there's no one else. Basically, they're always asking me to review their bikes and things like that. I have to say, sorry, I'm not doing e-bike content anymore. But if that's something you're interested in or you have knowledge in, then definitely start a channel in that. You heard it here first. By the way, at this point, I do just want to say a massive thank you to Christy, who just this week gave me my first ever super thanks. To be honest, when the notification first came up on my phone, I was like, what is that? And then when I realized what it was, it made my day. So genuinely, thank you, Christy. Really appreciated. Totally unnecessary, but really appreciated. Thanks for that. For some channels, that will be a bigger part of their sort of financial strategy. I watch a lot of fantasy football content, which is basically like people or experts streaming, and then people pay for super chats to have their question answered. That might be something that you consider in your financial strategy. Like, there's no one way to do this. You can do whatever you want, try different things, whatever works for you. So yeah, that's ad revenue in a nutshell. It isn't life changing, but it's definitely nice to have. I like to think of it as kind of like my base income, and then anything else I make from affiliates, sponsored videos, collaborations, brand partnerships, things like that. I think of that as my sort of almost like a sales bonus each month, or like a commission kind of thing. And I actually earn a lot more from those other streams. So we're going to jump into my accounting software right now, because I've set it up so that I can track each type of revenue stream. So this is Xero, my accounting software. So basically you sync it to your bank account, and every time you get income, it wants to like code it as a certain type of income. I could have just lumped it all under one code. For example, my e-commerce business I ran before this, I just put all income as sales because it was more straightforward. It was, you know, a sale's a sale. For this business, I've separated it into affiliate revenue, sponsored video revenue, and YouTube AdSense revenue. So to give you an idea here, so you've got your AdSense revenue there. It's sort of remained fairly steady. July it propped up a bit, which is good. You obviously want to see it growing. In June, I did a sponsored video, $500 there. And then I've got only started doing affiliate links in March this year. And you can see made 469 there, 460, 908. This month's actually been a very good month. It's not showing on there yet because it's not been paid out. But for August, I made 1,391. So that's obviously very nice. So yeah, so the main thing I would recommend is, even if you're not monetized yet, because you don't need to be monetized to start doing affiliate links, sponsored videos, things like that. So now that you've seen that ad revenue maybe isn't going to sort of give you enough money to just sack your job off and go full time, at least for the early stages, you should probably start thinking about other income streams. So that can be affiliate links, that can be partnerships with brands. In terms of how much to charge, I mean, I still don't really have a strategy. I wouldn't do one for less than that amount now. I did one last year for about half that amount when the channel was smaller. I've seen other YouTubers saying you wouldn't want to do it for less than like your daily wage, because you put in probably a whole day's work into it when you think of like sort of scripting, filming and editing. Maybe if you're at like very early stages, consider doing them for, I mean, these days I'd never do it for like a free gift or whatever, and you do get a lot of offers like that. But maybe in the early stages you do that, just so that you can sort of use it as part of your portfolio and show other brands, hey, I've worked with a brand before, this is what I created for them, and they got some really good results for it. So that might be something that you want to do. In terms of finding the affiliates, what I did personally is I've only ever done it with companies that or brands that I've used myself. So for example, Xero is one. I've been using Xero for over, I think, 11 years now. I receive quite a lot of offers from random rubbish, people wanting me to promote their courses. I don't even reply to them. I got offered to promote, it was like this fan that went around your neck, and I was like, I mean, it probably looked all right, but they were selling it for like $100. I think they were drop shippers. I'm like, why am I going to start selling random stuff like that? I would advise you not to just start selling random crap, because if anything, it's only going to hurt your own trust with your audience. I only ever promote things I use myself and would recommend to my friends and family. That's just me. You do you, but I think the long-term game is better to try and keep your integrity and the trust with your audience. I've not actually used Amazon affiliates, not because I've got anything against it. I think it's probably great, but I haven't really found anything on there that I can promote to you guys. I know of one channel, it's called Think Media, and I've seen their sort of Amazon affiliates dashboard. They make an absolute killing off it, but that's because they're reviewing cameras and expensive like video equipment. So they're obviously going to make really high commission every time they recommend a camera, and then someone goes to Amazon and buys it based on their referral. But Amazon could be a really easy way. Like, I don't think you need a minimum amount of views or anything like that to join the platform. The other two platforms that I use, which you can go on there and look to see what businesses are on there and you can apply to be an affiliate for them, is partnerstack.com and impact.com. Go and check those out if you're getting a few views. I mean, look, in the early stages, even if you only make like a couple of referral sales, that's going to make a big difference, and it's going to be a sort of a good bit of motivation for you, because then you can sort of extrapolate that and go, well, if I scale this channel to X amount of views, I will then be making X amount of income. So yeah, hope that helps. Once you are making some money and you do want to set up some sort of tracking like this is Zero. It's basically syncs with your bank account, makes it super easy. And then come tax time, you know, you can either just give your accountant access to your account, or you can just sort of click a few buttons and it puts most of it together for you. It's amazing. I'd be lost without it. I highly recommend it to everyone. I've been using it for 11 years. There's an affiliate link in the description of this video. Go check it out. I think at the moment you can get 50% off for the first 3 months. Give it a try. Absolute no-brainer. I've almost certainly forgot to tell you something, and I'll probably remember when I'm just after I've clicked publish. If you have any other questions about how much income you can expect to make at around 5k subs, then drop a comment below. I'll do my best to answer openly and honestly. I'd never want to be gatekeeping. I'll tell you as much as I can. Yeah, it's not life-changing money, but it is growing and it's real, and I'm enjoying it. Obviously, if you don't enjoy the process of coming up with an idea for a video, filming the video and then editing it, then YouTube's not going to be for you. Don't do it just because you think you're going to make money, because as you can see, you're not going to make stupid money. Like I said, I went 18 months without making a single penny. If you're just after money, there's plenty of other side businesses out there. Look through my channel. I talk about a lot of them all the time. Side businesses, side hustles that you can make money sort of day one. YouTube's not one of them in my experience, but it's very enjoyable and I love it. So hope you'll stick around and see the channel grow. Give us a like and a sub, help my little garden grow. Really appreciate it. And yeah, start your own garden maybe. They say the best time to plant a tree was 10 years ago, but the second best time is now. Watch this video next. That's my latest one. Or watch this one, because this is what the algorithm thinks you should watch. Cheers guys, take it easy.